If you were a kid in the late 2000s or the early 2010s, you probably remember Zhu Zhu pets.
Zhu Zhu pets.
They were little robot hamsters, or sometimes even not, little robot animals that would talk and move erratically, and they were a lot of fun. When I looked into this, there was a lot more Zhu Zhu pets than I thought there were. There was the initial series of the original 2009 Zhu Zhu pets, and then there was a series with rock stars, which had little mohawks. Every single one of them had these crazy little mohawks that I feel like always got matted up. There was the Wild Bunch with all these little woodland animals. My favorite was Stinker the skunk, Zhu Zhu Princess, Zhu Zhu puppies and kittens, Zoofari, Zoolantis, Zoo ponies, and even Zoo babies. And that's not even including the reboot in 2017. There was a lot of zoo babies. There were lullaby hamsters that would take care of the zoo babies. They were like little nannies and had special little noises they would make that would be lullabies. They would push around the little babies in these little carriers, a whole bunch of different toys that were surrounded by these mamas or these lullaby hamsters pushing around their babies. It was really funny. The toys were really successful, and they were a little bit more than just the little robot hamsters because they got a bunch of games, movies, and even a TV series was produced. There was a couple of the babies that were kind of interesting. Baby Baxter came with a bunch of the DS games, and I don't think any of the other babies came with DS games, so that was kind of strange. There's also two baby hamsters that I swear they look exactly the same. It's Baby Muffin. I had to look into this extra. Baby Muffin looks exactly the same as Baby Cakes. Baby Muffin is a little boy that's related to Winky, an older brother, and then Baby Cakes, who's related to Num Nums, her older sister. I don't know why they didn't just make them twins, because I think these are exactly the same toy. There was a total of 3 movies that were produced about the Zhu Zhu pets, and they were really, not all of them were understood or even known about. Quest for Zoo was a DVD release, Power of Zhu was unreleased, and The Secret of Zhu was also unreleased. Because of their Chinese origin, Zhu Zhu meaning little pig in Mandarin, they had a lot of Chinese themes to them it was kind of funny. But they had Ken Jeong and Brad Garrett both voice in one of the movies.
This is it! The final countdown!
I have no clue how they got Ken Jeong and Brad Garrett both on the project and then not even releasing the final product. Yeah, there's a lot of dragons. They're really kind of ugly. Looking at these movies, the little trailers, I was super confused until I found Zhu Zhu Pets lore. The zoos have up-to-date human technology. Kung zoos have spaceships, tanks, and weapons, is what the wiki says. I don't understand how that makes any sense. The wiki also says that certain zoos have the ability to use magic or have a system that use it. In Power of Zhu, the Kung zoos teleport via tunnel tracks with light-speed teleportation. In The Quest for Zhu, Pipsqueak is stolen by the night and sent to Zoo Planet. The Zhu Zhu pets as a whole series were more aimed towards girls in the most part, and then they tried to make boy-themed toys, and these movies feel more boy-themed for toys and movies, for children's content.
Now, Kung Zhu, this is for boys, you know, Zhu Zhu pets from last year. This is the Kung Zhu, and they start out as mild-mannered hamsters, but then when they cross the tablet of Zhu, they become aggressive battle hamsters.
Growing up, I didn't know any boys that liked Zhu Zhu pets. I did have a few friends that we would trade Zhu Zhu pets and Pokemon cards.
Kids love Zhu Zhu pets, don't they?
We actually had a rule in our elementary school that we weren't allowed to trade Pokemon cards because the teachers saw it as a type of gambling. So we started trading stuffed animals and Zuzus, and that's actually where I got one of my favorite little Zuzus that I need to find. It's in storage somewhere. I think I had Muffin. The toys had two modes: nurture, they'd idly coo and purr, and adventure, where they'd explore by moving super erratically and tiny motorized wheels bumping into everything. These toys were pretty cheap, only around $10 a piece, so a lot of parents were able to buy them at first, but in my experience, they almost became schizophrenic when the batteries started to die. I'm not sure, I never figured out how to turn them off fully. So I had two that were in my closet for a couple years, and every once in a while in the box in the middle of the night, they would start to make their little noises. The wheels would spin and they'd start to hit the sides, and it was definitely, if I was a little younger, I feel like I would have been pretty scared, but it was super annoying as an early teenager, to the point where I think I had to put them out in the garage because I couldn't sleep with them in my room. With the downfall of Zuzus in 2013, it was expected. They had a lot of controversy because these little toys actually had toxic powder. Specifically on Mr. Squiggles is the toy that was specifically tested.
Product after a San Francisco-based consumer group Good Guide claimed that this Zhu Zhu or Zhu Zhu pet, Mr. Squiggles, may contain higher than allowed levels of the metal antimony, which could cause health problems. But the maker of Zhu Zhu pet says its products are 100% safe for children.
The Zhu Zhu pets have become this holiday season's toy craze, following in the footsteps of Tickle Me Elmo and Cabbage Patch Kids. But the for-profit consumer group Good Guide is giving the toy low marks for safety.
The Zhu Zhu pet, we found a chemical called antimony, which is a metal which has potential health hazards related to it.
The federal limit for antimony is 60 parts per million, but Good Guide says its tests measured 93 parts per million in the toy hamster's fur and 106 parts per million in the nose.
If these toys aren't even meeting the legal standards in the U.S., then I would say it isn't worth the risk for me to bring it into my household.
But there are some who feel more testing needs to be done.
If you want to know whether the toy actually meets the federal standards for that chemical, you would have to do a lot more testing.
The maker of Zhu Zhu pets is also disputing Good Guide's findings and presented test results, which indicate antimony levels below 60 parts per million. The company says its product is absolutely safe and has passed the most rigorous testing in the toy industry for consumer health and safety.
And to put this all into perspective, while Harry plays a little bit with the product, at certain doses, antimony can cause health problems, but federal guidelines are generally set at 1% of the level known to be dangerous. So even if the Zhu Zhu pet has close to double the federal limit, Harry's still playing, which the company disputes is the case. That's still only 2%. Again, not something many experts say we need to be very, very concerned about.
You just really shouldn't suck on this, I think.
That is the general advice for all the toys.
One of this holiday season's must-have toys is being called unsafe. A study by San Francisco-based Good Guide found high levels of the chemical antimony on Zhu Zhu pets. The consumer group says the chemical measured at 93 parts per million in the toy hamster's fur and at 106 parts per million in its nose. Both readings exceed the allowable level of 60 parts per million. But the maker of the robotic hamsters has insisted that its product has passed rigorous safety testing. In a statement released Saturday, the company's CEO said, as a father, he would never allow any substandard or unsafe toys to hit store shelves.
I don't understand what is the difference between a safe amount and an unsafe amount of toxic powder. I was interested in getting a couple more just to have on hand for this video, but looking at the gray market, some of them go for over $100 a piece when they were originally sold in box for less than $10.
Zhu Zhu Pets, which retail for about $10, have become so popular that they're being sold on websites like eBay and Craigslist for more than $40.
I don't understand who is buying so many, but there are some crazy collectors I was able to find. Some people's collections are absolutely massive, ranging between the entire series of every single product, if not duplications of the same product. This was a really fun video to make just because it brought up so many old memories of Zhu Zhu Pets. I would love to know if any of you had Zhu Zhu Pets growing up, if you still have them, or if there was any other toys that you played with as a kid that were on par or similar to Zhu Zhu Pets. Please let me know in the comments, and thank you for watching.
Zhu Zhu Pets. Funny, furry hamsters that make outrageous sounds and explore the world you built for them. Let's go for a ride or take a slide.